Hi everyone, it's Rasta from Rasta Painting, and this is just going to be a really quick little video talking about magnetising your ships. There was a couple of comments, a couple of questions asked last week on the UK pages about how to magnetise ships, and I hate typing stuff. I'm not very good at it. Getting my point across with written words is not my thing. So I just thought I'd put together a quick 10-minute video of what I do to magnetise my ships to help you all out. And hopefully you can all go off, buy yourself some bits and yeah, have fun and swivel and tilt. I know Simon from First Earth hates my magnets, but I love them. They just make it look cooler. So, first of all, there's a couple of companies that do the magnets. There's a Green Stuff World and this, that and the other. I don't use any of those. I just go straight on eBay and I buy rare earth magnets. That's what you want to be typing in. I'll show you the different types in a second, but they're all rare earth magnets. And I also buy steel ball bearings of different sizes. We'll cut in and we'll let you see all the bits and bobs in a second. That's all you need to be doing. These things are incredibly cheap when brought like that. I get a lot of them from the UK. I also get some of them sent over from China. It takes probably a week and a half from the ones from China, but they're so cheap. I think you're doing yourself an injustice when you go and start spending stupid money on other stuff. And some of the stuff I've seen on the specific magnets, they're a bit cumbersome and a bit like these nuts and balls that just look too big and ghastly. There are a couple of mods that I do that the balls are huge, but that's because of the size of the ship. But anyway, let's cut into me mat and I'll show you what I got. So I've got lots of different sizes, and this is going to be a bit tricky because as I kind of move them around, they all want to attach to each other. This is a 4mm magnet, a tiny little magnet, right? I use these when I want to magnetise guns or small bits. When I did my my rotating fang fighters, these were the size of magnets I used. They work perfectly with a pin vise, a 4mm pin vise. So these are not going to be used to actually magnetise your ships, but you know I love pointing my guns. A lot of my guns I'm using these, maybe a slightly smaller one, but these 4mm ones are great. So then I've got this tiny little, I'm going to measure them for you on camera because I forget how big they are. So this one is about 8mm across, and this is a ring magnet. Let's put it on my finger. It's a ring magnet, so it's what it says it is. It's a complete circle. These are great for your average small ship if you want a very discreet magnet mount. So something like a X-Wing, Sheathopede, that sort of size of ship. As we move up in size of ship, so something like a K-Wing, we're going to need a bigger magnet. So with this magnet, I use let's get it out of my pot. I use a tiny little, I do believe this is a 10mm ball bearing. And you see, it just holds on to that loop. So what I'll do is I'll put one of these ring magnets attached to the peg, one of these ring magnets attached to the ship, and I use a ball bearing in between. Those ball bearings, they can be a bit floppy, so if you give them a little sand before you use them, it helps for sticking. And then I'll get back to actually mounting this in a second. I'll show you quickly how to do it. The next one I move up to is this size. Now this size is, this is a 12mm magnet, and this is called a countersunk magnet. So it has like a little divot on the inside. These I will use if you want a stronger mount on your small ships or for your bigger ships. K-Wings, G1A Starfighters, Arc Fighters, because they're a bit top heavy, those small magnets will be a bit floppy when you're playing games. And I will use one of these. Right, now this, oh, off it goes. I'll get it. Ah, right, actually, I've been giving you all the wrong measurements, I do believe. This is a 5mm ball bearing. Those small ones I just had, they were a 2mm ball bearing. So this is a 5mm ball bearing going in to your countersunk magnet. You can see it just sits in there perfectly. This gives much better surface area for your slightly larger ships. So this ball bearing I will attach straight to the peg. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Upper scale, and then we go to A. 10 mil countersunk magnet. So that's 10 mil by 2 mil, 3 mil even. They come in slightly different sizes, but again, this is countersunk. And I will step up again my ball bearing. So this is going to be used for mounting your average large base ship. It'll work with Falcons, it works with YT2400s, that sort of size. And I'm going to use on this one, this is a proper 10 mil steel ball bearing. Oh, let's get a different one. I did buy some that weren't any good. I don't know why, but they wouldn't stick. But as you can see, it instantly pulls into that countersunk magnet for your large ship. Then we move up to this whopper stopper. Now this is a 15 mil countersunk magnet, and I will you can still use the same 10 mil ball bearing, but because this is a bigger magnet, gives you more pull. This is what you're going to want to be using for things like your shadow casters, your YV666s, anything that's a little bit heavy, a decimator. You do need to sand these ball bearings. They're very, very small, and I use emery paper, emery cloth to do it when I've got them on, to give you a little bit of a rough surface. It helps to stick. And then the last one I'll show you, and I've only ever used this magnet on one ship. This is a big, big arse magnet. I do believe it's 20 mil. Yeah, this is a 20 mil countersunk magnet, and I don't actually, or do I? Right, so I created the Thunderbird Ghost, and it's really, really heavy, and I always wanted a Thunderbird that tilted. So I had to step up, and it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but it does its job, and that's what I really wanted it to do. So I had this ball bearing here. This is a 15 mil ball bearing. I actually used on my Thunderbird Ghost a 20 mil ball bearing. It looks like a small Death Star, it's so big, but I can actually tilt, because it's very back heavy, I can tilt it, and I just love that. This is really what you want to be using for your ghosts. Ghosts are a bit of a pain in the bum. I did counterweight the front of the ship a little bit. That's kind of the real exception to the rule. So I'll show you quickly what I do. So you've got your small pegs, and this is what we're going to do, is we're just going to mount. If you were going to mount a flat ring magnet to this, you're just going to stick straight to the top once you've cut your peg off. This little top bit, we need to remove this, and so you've got a flat edge. So if you're going to mount a ball bearing to this, what you want to do is you want to take a pin vise, and you start off making a small centre hole. Right, this is going to give you like a pilot hole that your bigger drill bit's going to sit in. So you go in a few mils, so it's getting you centred, and then you work up in size and start to increase the diameter of that hole, right the way to the point where I've got like proper DIY drill bits that I just use in my hand, right, to hollow out a divot, a recess, which is almost like, how can I put it, the relief of a circle. So we've got a nice little divot. So if I get one of these ball bearings out, I'll show you, it just sits nicely in that. It's like an egg cup. It holds it. Spot of super glue, pop your ball bearing in, leave it to dry for a few hours, bit of emery paper over the top, nice and rough. That's your small ship done. Your flat magnet goes under your ship, sorted. It's exactly the same principle with your large pegs. Small hole, medium hole, big hole. I go right to the point where I'm using this drill at the end to hollow out this hole and create that nice divot so I can fit in one of these 10 mil ball bearings. I'll show you a couple I've already done. This is the idea. The ball bearing sits nicely cradled. It's nice and neat. There's no mess, and your ships will fit. I'll bring one of my ships over. Come on, you bugger. And your ships will just attach nicely to that, and as you can see. Right, this is a bit floppy because it's not been sanded, but what you want is a sanded ball bearing, and that's it. That's as simple as that, guys. That's all you need to be doing to put your magnets on. It's not a mystery. Don't go and spend fortunes on 5 magnets. I'm probably buying the ball bearings, I'm getting them at 30, 40 ball bearings for 3-4 quid, and the magnets are coming in packs of 40, 50 magnets for the same sort of money. You don't need to spend fortunes. Take your time, watch your fingers. A nice cutting area, good super glue, let the glues dry, that's it. Oh, another little thing I thought I'd show you quickly. I don't like plastic pegs for my own personal models. I like something a little bit stronger. So I use brass tube. Right, now this is 4mm brass tubing. This fits exactly into this hole. Right, so you cut it to the length you want, and with a Swan Morton, you create like a relief again. With your, be careful please. You create a relief, so you've got that egg cup for your ball to sit into and stick on, and then I stick this straight into the tube. These are like not take-outable. If you do this, you're stuck with this forever. However, they're really strong. The same with your large base. I use a brass tube. I do believe this is, yeah, this is 5 or 6 mil. If you measure the hole, you can get this brass tube from any good modelling shop. It's available on the internet. Same thing, just divot out the inside, put your ball bearing in, and if that's what you want to do, I end up spraying all my bases black anyway. But your plastic ones, like I said, nice and simple. Just attach your ball bearing to the end and crack on gaming. That's it. That's all I got for you today. It was a nice and quick one. Get out there, get yourself some magnets, angle your ships. They look like they're flying around corners. You're going to have more fun. You're going to win more tournaments. Join me at Rasta Painting. Sign up to my Patreon. You'll never regret it. More of these cool videos coming. Love you all. One love, everyone.